Hi there. Today I'll be doing a product tour of the Fortra Webdocs Forms Management Solution. This video will focus on forms creation process, along with things to think about when creating forms. Okay, let me get started. Quick look at the agenda before I get started here. We'll be covering a couple different form samples here today. I have about 4 different ones with different kinds of controls and features and functions on the forms to sort of show you some of the variety you can do with forms. And then I'll be going into the creation process of a form, talking about the controls and elements you can have in the form. And then we'll talk about business rules and conditional form fields. And then I'll also be showing in the live demonstration a PDF form filling process, and we'll also talk about data-driven forms as well, and the sort of the 2 different areas. All right, so from a form standpoint, let me get into some samples here. Here's one of the samples. Think of this as sort of a conditional form, right? And could be a simple form as well. This is one where you can actually type in and require information into the form. You can have drop-down boxes populated with information. You can attach information that can be routed around. So it's not just a data-driven form. It could be a document-driven form too. Documents could be attached to it. Pictures could be attached to it from a mobile device. And then there's some conditional information on there. So depending on how they answer this question, like in this case here, this form can be used with our intelligent capture process to say, hey, I'm going to attach this document, but I'm going to OCR data extract the document using the intelligent capture. So if I say no to this process, it could be a manual process like this, or this could just be a yes where it drops it into another folder, or another system is monitoring it to be able to process it. But in this case here, if they say no to it, they can come in here and they can GL code it. And these GL codes and all the drop-down boxes can be populated from a database and ERP system as well. So a lot of different function features in these forms. Here's a form as well. Here's an onboarding form. This could be a routing onboarding form process here. Could have a different, in the next video that you're going to see, we'll be talking about workflow capabilities. So taking a form and actually making it into a workflow process. So when you create a form, you can have different views inside of a form to be able to pull this information in. The next one here is an expense form. So this is another example of a form that can have, some hidden fields, required fields again, inside of here. It can have drop-down boxes. It can populate grid information. It could be totaling information inside of here as well. So you can have all that information inside of here. You can have signatures, the wet and pin-based signature capability you can have in there. So a lot of different capabilities that you can do inside of there. And again, having a workflow process to be able to do the approval. And here's another one as well. And the last one I'm going to show for today's purposes, just for time, is an incident report, right? Security incident report. This is one that has multiple steps into it, and it could have conditional directions that it could go in depending on an escalation point. So if it's critical, if it's minor, it might not go into, into a certain bucket, but if it's a critical one, it might need to jump into a certain in basket for review and approval. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is the Webdocs Forms Management creation interface, right? So creation, approvals, workflows, everything is done through the web interface, right? So on the server that lives in your network or in your AWS or Azure environment, depending on where you load it at, you can then log into the system through the web browser, and then through the web browser, you can see we can create what we call projects. Projects can be for different kinds of forms, different kinds of departments. I'm going to go into my project down here for my demo ones down here. And you'll see that I have a whole bunch of different forms and also workflows inside of this one as well. For today's purposes, I'm going to show you this W4 form. Because this could be a data-driven form. So forms could just be purely data-driven or could be document-driven on the back end. So we can actually have data go somewhere inside from this form. But in this form, you could actually push a document, a real live document out as well in the government form. So you can see this here, and you can require information. You can have different steps on these forms inside of here. So you can have all these different areas. All this palette information over here is giving you the capability to drag and drop these different function features over here. And then you can configure these different objects that you put in here. So these different controls or elements that you put inside of here, you can actually configure those different elements inside of here as well then using the configuration capability over on the left-hand panel. You can reuse elements as well. So if you create something, you can take something, you could say, hey, I want to take this section or this part of the form and I'm going to put it over to the custom section. That custom section will allow you to share that object with someone else and then reuse that for yourself as well. So you do have that capability there. Now, in this process here, there's business rules that you can apply to forms. So you can do different kinds of business rules like calculations. You can do, this is in JavaScript here. We also do have a rule builder structure here as well. So that if you want to be able to do JavaScript, you can copy JavaScript in. Otherwise, you can use the rule builder functionality here as well. And that's going to be more of a, so if I want to edit this, you'll see this is more of a sort of a graphical interface, right? So to be able to say, hey, you'll be able to select this information and be able to, be able to set some of these things inside of here. So you do have that capability there to be able to, interact with. The other thing here is I want to show, so if it is, so you can have a data-driven form and you can also have PDFs that you might fill in the background as well. So we can actually create a PDF with the form, but say you had a PDF, in this case, a government-based form that needed to be filled out, or multiple ones, right? You can now take that information and then populate it into the form and have the original PDF that you might download from the government website filled in and then populated into the system. So we can save that into the repository. And there's different settings in here too, so that's one option there to do that. And then there's some settings and configuration capabilities inside the application as well, to be able to give you different kinds of messages or different kinds of styles for the form. You can change the styling and the form's actions and some of the document actions. Maybe you want maybe want to post this to a web application or something like that, right? And then you can do different things with the data set at that point as well. Now with these forms, there's some different things that you can do here from that standpoint. And I'm going to back up here so you can sort of see this function here. I want to do a view option here, so and show you what it looks like in the wizard, right? So I can save and test this one, and when I hit the save and test option, the save and test option is going to pop open this document, or this, in this case, a form, and it's going to let me be able to use it and see it in this environment. So I can actually use it in this environment, or I can say, hey, what's this look like on an iPad or on a tablet device? I want to use it and stuff on a tablet device. Or in this case here, it even could be a smartphone. So you could have a smartphone that you want to do this from as well. So you do have that capability to be able to interact with the document without having that kind of device inside of here. So very, very nice feature and function inside of there. And then you can try out the different features and stuff inside here, so you can fill out information and then go through the process here. So if I fill this in here really quick, and if I come in here and do this, I got some required fields, and I got a signature. I'm going to put my signature on there, and that's going to timestamp it, and I'm going to do this. And there is a review option here too. So if I want to see what that looks like before it gets submitted, I can hit that review process here and actually see that information being filled into the form. So this is that PDF function here then. So it's a really cool feature there to be able to see some of that information and how it populates into the the different form functions. And then when you're done with the form, you can hit the submit, and then that can actually go into the process to be able to save that form into the repository or email or do something with that document that you might need to do. I want to thank everyone for watching this quick video, product tour of the Webdocs Forms Management. Thank you.